So I started Christmas baking, and I'm sitting here and I am unwrapping Hershey Kisses to make my Hershey Kiss cookies, and I've got Scrooge on my iPad over there, and you see all the dogs walking away because they saw me grab the camera. I was hoping to get them as they were all positioned. Over here, right in here, was Chloe and Lacey. Ellie was right over there, and Lucy was right over here. And they were just staring at me as I was undoing the Hershey Kisses, because they were hoping that I was going to toss. I did give them one, but anyway, so they were hoping for more. So I've started my Christmas baking. What time is it? It's 11:34. Got a little bit of a late start today. I'm not going to film. So my timer's getting ready to go off. What I made first, I have Swedish tea cakes. They go by the name Russian tea cakes, Mexican tea cakes, and of course at Christmas time people like to call them snowballs. But my cookie book that this recipe comes from, it's an old Betty Crocker cookbook from the 1960s. It says Swedish tea cakes, and so that is what I call them. I only did one recipe because this cookie is very similar. The recipe, it's slightly different, but not much. From these cookies are called crescent cookies. It's like I said, it's almost the same dough, but there's a little difference to it, and the dough, well, I should just say the cookie, they're a real delicate cookie. They have to be, okay, these are rolled in powdered sugar, so I'm going to remove them off of the stove here so they can start cooling. I'll let them cool for about 5 minutes or so when they're warm, not when they're still hot, because if you roll them in powdered sugar when they're hot, the powdered sugar ends up kind of melting, and when you go to put them away, it's like all the powdered sugar just disintegrates from it. When you go to pull them out, sometimes you have to re-roll them in sugar. If you wait till they're completely cold, the sugar is not going to stick. So what you have to do that with the same as the crescent cookies that I'm going to make. You have to wait till when you pick them up and you hold them, they're not real hot in your hands, but you feel just a slight warmth. So they're kind of cold. It's a little bit lukewarm, heading towards the cooler side. You want them to have enough warmth in the cookie that when you roll them in the sugar, they stick. So I'm going to get those off the stove over here somewhere so they can cool down a little bit. I've got my crescent cookie dough. I'm going to roll that out. These get rolled in granulated sugar. Those get rolled in powdered sugar. I haven't made what some of you guys call them Hershey Kiss cookies. When I got this recipe as a teenager years ago, they weren't called Hershey Kiss cookies. That's what they call them now, because the original name for these cookies, they're called peanut butter blossoms. That's what they're called. But over the years, they became Hershey Kiss cookies. So, but anyway, peanut butter blossoms, that's what I still call them. And my daughter requested those. I stopped making them because I make peanut butter fudge, I make chocolate fudge, I make Buckeyes. We get all kinds of candies and stuff for Christmas, and so, you get like peanut butter cups and stuff like that, so there's like enough of the peanut butter and the chocolate that I just stopped making those cookies for a while to give a break, But my daughter requested them this year, so I'm going to make those. When I make these crescent cookies, I pitch off about like this, so that if you rolled it, it would be like about an inch size ball, okay? But instead of rolling in a ball, you roll it in a log. And I don't make my logs thin. This cookie actually, I'll show you what this cookie is supposed to look like. You're supposed to roll it like this, and you can see, hold on a second. See, you can see the difference in the height there, because it's supposed to be skinnier, and you're actually supposed to turn it like this, so when it bakes, it becomes like the shape of a crescent, okay? That's why they call them crescents. But when these cookies break, because they're fragile, they usually break right in here along the curve. So That's why I just take it and I just leave them in the size of logs. And I, well, I have to do that again. I have to roll it out again. I leave them where they're kind of thick, like this. And I just leave them in logs. And now they're going to spread and like this. And they'll just be like, I'll show you what they look like when they're done. It's hard to explain it. But this way, when they're like that, the breakage of the cookie is less. Okay? Again, they're prettier when they're in the shape of the crescent. But like I say, they're such a fragile kind of cookie because they're really flaky. That's what it is. They're really flaky. And the break comes right on the bend of the crescent. So I just leave them straight. Oh, there's the fun part of Scrooge. The ghost of the future. And here we go. So this is one recipe. I got 2 layers there. I think I counted. I got 35 cookies from one recipe. And I'm only going to do one, like I said, because the crescents, I doubled that recipe, and it's pretty similar, just a little bit different. And I've got one batch already in there. See those? And I was getting ready to start rolling these, and I'm glad I checked my cookies because they were almost cool to the point that the sugar wouldn't have stuck if I didn't roll them. So, yeah, I got those taken care of, and now it's on to get this pan going. Okay, instead of typing out this recipe, and probably any of the recipes that I'm using, because when you're Christmas baking, you're just focused, boom, 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 one cookie right after the next. I'm not going to have time when I'm editing my videos to go back and type everything out, but I will give you the recipe slowly so you can get a pen and a sheet of paper and write it out. So, the crescent cookies, this is the recipe. You need 1 cup of butter, 1/3 cup of sugar, 2/3 cups of pecans that you have. I put them in my little food processor, and I don't get them completely ground. You want them in small little bits. Okay, so you need 2/3 cup of pecans. 1 2/3 cups of flour, and so you mix the shortening, the sugar, and the pecans together. Then you put the flour in, working that in. Then you need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And you don't even need a mixer for this. You can mix with a spatula and then kind of work it with your hands like pie dough. And then you want to cover it and chill it in the refrigerator for a little while because it'll just be too soft. And make sure that your shortening is room temperature. Always make sure it's room temperature. So then you roll them like I showed you, and you're going to bake at 350 for about 16 minutes, or until you can see the very bottom edge around the cookie that's on the pan. It is like a golden brown color. That's when you know that they're done. When you take them out of the refrigerator, when you take them out of the oven, don't attempt to take them off the pan. Because remember I told you, they're very fragile and delicate. And you know how it is when you try to remove hot cookies from a pan, they break? Well, these are really going to break. So you let them cool off first on the cookie pan itself. Then I remove them from the pan and I put them on the counter. And then I do like I do with the Swedish tea cakes. You let them still cool off a little bit, but still warm enough that when you roll them in the sugar, that the sugar is going to stick. So anyway, that's the recipe. Okay, so this is what they look like when you just will roll them in a log versus, turning them to look in a crescent. And trust me, when they're like this, it's going to be better in handling these. And you can even see close up, you see the little cracks? Because these are very, very flaky cookies. And that's why I say they're a delicate cookie, because they are very, very flaky. So just handle very gently. You will enjoy these. These are really good. So when I get them rolled in sugar, I will show you what that looks like. Okay, these I'm taking right off the pan. They're still warm. They're not hot. You want them when they're warm to roll them, not hot. Hot, they'll be too hard to handle. You don't want to break them, like I said. And the sugar won't stick so well when it's hot. It has to just be warm. And these are actually a little warmer to the touch than like the Swedish tea cakes, but that's okay. But anyway, so I just gently roll them. I mean, you don't have to be too terribly careful. But this is what they look like this. And so I'm going to break this in half so you can see, or I'll just take a bite. It's better if I just take a bite and I show it to you. So that's what they look like. They're really flaky. So if you've never made these cookies before, you might want to give this a try. My family has made this every Christmas since probably like my birth. My mom always makes these. My aunts, my grandmother, they always made these too. So they're really yummy. Hope you try them. Okay, these are the peanut butter blossoms or the Hershey Kiss cookies. The recipe says to roll these in 1-inch balls, but I don't. I roll these in not half-inch balls because that's a little bit too small. I do like about 3/4 of an inch, between a ½ inch and an inch. The reason why, well, number one, you can get more cookies on a tray. That's one thing. Number two, when you roll them in the 1-inch balls, and then, you know, as they spread out a little bit, and only a little bit because it's when you push the kiss in the center that it spreads out even more, there's like a lot of cookie around there. I don't like them like that. I like where like the Hershey Kiss fits very snugly inside the cookie. And in order for that to happen, you need to make your balls a little bit smaller. So a ½ inch is a little bit too small because then you'd have like really little cookies. So anyway, I'll show you when they come out of the oven. Okay, so you can see really the size of that cookie, and that's what you want. And this is kind of lukewarmish now. It's not hot and it's not hot warm, it's more lukewarm. And this is what I'm going to put the kisses in now. If you put them in straight out of the oven, these are going, they'll stay its form, but the chocolate, the heat will go right through that. Like if you touch the chocolate, it'll start being all gooey because it will melt. And if you want to be able to stack these and put these away in a timely fashion, you don't want that chocolate getting hot where it'll be gooey and melt. You want it to just keep its form and to stay as solid as possible. So I wait until it's about lukewarm, but you want it hot enough that it still is going to melt there and stay like that. If you let these get too cold, they're not going to stay on there. So you don't want them really hot and you don't want them cool. You just want them warm, you know what I mean? And so you see how there's not that much cookie. If you made these cookies, you know, the full inch, there's just like a lot of cookie around there. So that's how I like to make mine. Okay, so doggies are barking. These are my crescent cookies. I got 70 of these, and if you want to know how big they are, again, I measure here, so that's 1 inch, so they're about 2 inches, like that. And I'm going to get all of these away. I have another batch of those in the oven, and I've got to continue rolling. I have a little bit more dough here. I've got one more tray of my peanut butter blossoms in the oven. There's only, I think, like 6 more on the tray. So that's what you get. And I like to, when you make them small like this, because as you go to stack them, you can stack them in between like that. Now I might have a couple more little spaces that I can put some smaller ones in, but I'm not going to chance it. So I've got to wait till all of the chocolate completely cools, because believe it or not, some of them, you can tell when they get a little glossy looking, you know, they're hot. And they're, well, not hot, but it's melted a little bit. So I'll probably wait about a good hour. Make sure that they're nice and cool. I'm going to put these in the fridge, I think. That will cool them down really quick. And then I'm going to put like wax paper, and then I'll go ahead and do the same thing. I'll get another layer going and then try to stagger in between till I get them all in the container. And by the way, this is 2 recipes of this. I doubled it. Okay, so, which we have there. You can't see. It's a Mr. Binks. You know what he's going to do? Well, he knows that I'm here now. You have water in the laundry room. He does. He jumps on top of the toilet seat, and he puts his head down there, and he drinks out of the toilet just like a dog does. I don't know why. Anybody else have cats that do that? Okay, so I've got to go downstairs. All right, so I got to my card table. And you might want to know, what do I need my card table for? Well, I put my Christmas cookies on it. Okay, let's close this. Adam still has not cleaned up his weights off of the floor. And now we have these things that are now under the pool table. And those are part of his weights. So, okay, look at this. So these are, you saw all the gifts. So if you're wondering, where in the world would Sandy put all of her gifts at? This is where they are. It's taking up the whole pool table. So anyway, when I had people sleeping down here, and Brian, he kidnapped our television. He was using it. He's supposed to be bringing it back down. He went and he bought another one. So anyway, I'm a little bit cluttered down here because things that I have upstairs, like that, for example, you know, I have to find somewhere to put all this. So Brian needs to get that taken care of over there. Adam still needs to get all of his weights up. I did not wash the sheets on that bed. Carly slept on it once when she was here. Thanksgiving Eve. Joe and Melissa slept on this for a couple nights. And everybody's coming back Christmas Eve. So my reasoning is, you only slept on the bed twice. The sheets are okay until after Christmas. And then after Christmas is over, I will go ahead and strip the beds down. Mike slept on Carly's bed upstairs, and same difference. He only slept on it once. So I will take care of that bed also after Christmas is over. I need to get this tidied up here. Alright, that is better. And I have a bottled water that they left down here. And Carly left house shoes here. So I'm just going to put these over here on this bed for her. Oh, up here on the bar. My bar is so loaded with stuff. Look at all this that I have. So this spring, I wanted to do it this last year, but we didn't have a chance to do it. But this year I want to do it. You know, from 30 years of being married, you accumulate so much stuff. And with every move, we've always gotten a dumpster and, you know, thrown stuff out that we don't want anymore. But you still end up bringing stuff that you don't want to your next house. So anyway, over, you know, back over there where I have my storage over there, and a lot of it is Christmas. I still have things that, you know, you just don't want to get rid of. Let's keep it just in case after we get to the next house. But we've been here for 7 years, and there's just things that I know I'm never going to use again and I don't need. And it's just time to get rid of all of that stuff that's back there. So I want to clean out that other part of the storage room, and I'm hoping I'm going to have like a big area where Harry can, Harry's been wanting to do stuff with the table saw, doing like, you know, woodcraft stuff when he gets some time, because, you know, he's always working. But he says when, you know, he retires, that's one of the things that he wants to do. He wants to like build things with wood. And he has table saws that he got from his dad, because his dad used to do a lot of things. What are you chewing up over here? What are you doing? That's not yours. That's Adam's. You cannot have that. So anyway, we want to clear out a lot of things, and then that will free up a lot of space. I can get things organized over there too. I mean, there's space in there to move around and still put things, but I'm waiting until I can clear everything out. That's my goal for organization this spring, is I want to get a dumpster, and I want to get all my kids to come over here and help, like on a Saturday, to just, you know, if I can be down here, I don't want this, I don't want this, and people, you know, start taking it. Like if you leave a couple people at the top of the stairs and a couple people down here, you know, like an assembly line thing, you know, putting it up the stairs to the other ones that are out there, and then they can take it out to the dumpster, you know, doing it like that, it will go faster. And then when I get all of that cleared out, I want to get like some bigger shelves like I have for like my canning jars. I want to get a couple more, and I want to use them to, they have those big sturdy ones over at Costco that like the shelving holds up to like 2,000 pounds. So that's a lot of weight. And then like all the storage containers, you know, like those big Rubbermaid type containers that I keep a lot of things stored, all the things that I'm going to keep, I want to get all of that off of the floor and how it's all stacked up back there and put them on the shelves. And then that way everything's up off of the floor. And I want to do that especially for all my Christmas stuff too. So I want to buy a couple more of those. So I figure if I like went down this way, like, you know, straight down, and then came across that back wall with a couple, maybe even two or three of those shelves, that I can get all my Christmas stuff up off the floor and everything else up off the floor. There will be so much room down there, and I just want to organize like all my shelves down there. Then I want to have like a space that's set aside just so Harry can have like a wood shop, if you will. So anyway, behind my bar here, I'll just let you look at it. Look at that. It's a holding bin right now. Like we use those. These are glasses, cups that we use at Thanksgiving, and I'm going to use them at Christmas too. I won't use all of these, but so that we don't have to keep washing glasses every time people drink. You know what I mean? Or wonder whose glass is whose. You just dump it and throw it out. But like this and this here, this is stuff that goes upstairs. That, you know, that I keep this jumper for Alex. I keep that upstairs. That little rug I keep upstairs. That this here, this big honking thing that goes back there, that's Harry's saw, his table saw. One of the saws, I should say. There's this one, and then there's that one. See this gray thing? And it goes back there. That's another one. And then I have like, I have paper towels that I keep. These boxes are all empty. See, like those, I could take those and throw those out. I got more cups there. I keep those from when I, you know, have all my kids over all the time. And I got my Tide Pods there. But my water, I have a place that I store extra water in my storage area, but it's getting a little bit, you know, stacked up. That's why I say I need to, you know, bring some other shelves in there too. These are those lighted centerpieces that I did last winter for me to bring out this, you know, next winter too. So that's my goal. I have drawers that I need to clean out that I told you guys about. I'll be doing that. After Christmas is over and I get everything put away, that's when I kick in and start all my organization stuff. I go through all the drawers. I see what, I can do to make my life a little bit more simple with, organization and that kind of thing. That corner, Brian needs to take care of that. He needs to bring the TV back down. Adam, he's off today too. I should send him down here and to get all these weights up off the floor and off of the bed and off over there. So anyway, even though, see, my way of thinking is this. I like to keep everything neat and organized and everything in its place. My kids, they come down here to this basement and they figure, well, the only time anybody's down here is if anybody's sleeping. Or if Adam comes down here and he does the weights and stuff, because everybody's got TVs and stuff up in their room. What? You leaving?
I'm going to Benji's. I'll be back though.
Oh, all right. Bye. So that's their mindset. It's like, nobody sees it. Nobody sees it. The only people that see it are the people that are coming downstairs. But the thing is, I come down here. I come down here because I store things down here too. So there's my card table. Usually I have my card table over there. I tried putting it over there and it would fit actually very snugly and neatly over in that corner. But I'm going to tell you why I don't put it over there. Well, I'll tell you in a minute. So anyway, it's over here, and that's okay because, I mean, there's plenty of room to just walk right on by, so we're getting in and out of there easily. But I get tired of stacking everything on my dining room table, and it gets to be a lot when I start getting all my Christmas cookies. So usually at the very end is when I drag my table up. Well, this year I decided to drag it up early so I could just start putting things there. And this is actually a better location. As I stand back, you could see, because when people come down the stairs, usually the boys, or they're coming in the house, over this way from the garage, and they're wanting a snack, they come to the refrigerator here, but they eat Christmas cookies too. So, I mean, it's just right here in this general, kitchen location here. So, but I will show you why I don't like the card table over there. I put it there one year and I liked it because it was, like I said, out of the way and everything, but this is what I missed. So this is what I do sometimes. This is what I do. I come in here sometimes when it's dark. Okay, so it's still light outside. So imagine that's dark and you can even see the lights a lot nicer. So this is my view. This is what I do. I sit here and I look at my tree and all my nutcrackers and I see, my big nutcracker there, but then I can turn and look. I see that and I see upstairs my other tree there, and this always happens too. Do you see this? Dogs, they always come by. But I like to sit here, and not necessarily just in this chair. I'm going to take you to all the different views. What I like to do, especially like if Harry's just watching TV, or say like if he's traveling, like this week, he's gone, and the boys are up in their room or they're out or whatever, and it's just me and the girlies. And I like to come and I like to just sit here. It's almost like, I don't want to say meditation because I don't meditate, but I'm like downtime. You know what I mean? And you just sit and you just relax and you look at the tree. I look at all my nutcrackers. I think back to the Christmases as I added different nutcrackers. I let things play in my mind, and different stores that I went to, and like even my kids, the different ages that they were, when I first got things. Like, when you think of Christmases past, you know what I mean? Do you guys ever do that? I do that. And that's what I like to do. Like if Harry's home, like I said, I'll come in here, I hear the TV. But if he's not here, I'll have a Christmas movie on, or sometimes I'll just turn on Christmas music. And I like to just sit here and do that. So this is one chair that I do this. So this is why I don't like my cookie table over here, because then my chair's not here and I can't sit here and do this. So I will take you to my other favorite spots. So we're going to come walk through here, and it's the same principle with this chair right here. Okay, so I just sit down here. And I can look right over there. I see my Christmas tree. And I just look there. And I look over here and I see my Father Christmases. And I can look over there and I can see that tree. And I look up at the stairs. I look at the garland up there. I can see a little bit of the Christmas tree up there. But then I can look in there. Now I got baby things in there right now. But like I can still see the light from the garland and my village. And I do. I just like to come in here sometimes and just sit. And at night, I should do that. I should do the night version, nighttime version. I won't do it in this vlog because it'll be too long. But maybe. And oh look, my tree skirt. The dogs might have pulled that. I've got to get down and get that fixed. But anyway, I might do that. Maybe tomorrow's vlog if I remember, or one of them. I'll come in here when it's dark. And I'll just show you just, you know, how I just sit here and I just look. And see, like there, I could see my snowflakes, you know. And it's just nice to just sit and just reflect. And, you know, like I say, some people call that meditation. I don't call it meditation because when I think meditation, I think of, I don't know, strange things. But, okay, so I come in here too. And I don't usually turn that light on. When it's not Christmas, I come in here because I like to just think, obviously that's all open over there because the tree isn't there. And sometimes I'll just come in here and I'll, like in the winter, and I'll turn, this whole setup is all on one switch, and I'll turn that on to look at my village because, you know, I leave it up all year. And I will still keep this all lit, you know, January, February into March until, you know, it starts getting towards spring. It's no longer cold, then I don't turn it on. But in the winter with the Christmas, and I have my tree and everything, I just come in here. Of course, I got to move some of my pillows, but this is what I do. I just come in here and I sit down. And I, again, think of either Christmas music playing or a Christmas movie in the background. Nothing's playing now, but, you know, I just sit here and I look at my tree. And I sit over there and I look at that. And then girlies always come over to me. So, yeah, this is what I do. And it's always, it's very calming for me. That's why I like doing it. It's just, it relaxes me. And sometimes I like to do that. I go up in my office, you know, I have my little tree up there. And sometimes I'll go over there at my desk or whatever. And I sit in that chair, or I sit over on the couch. Sometimes I lay down on the couch. I have Christmas movies up there too. I think I got Scrooge up there right now. But like I'll even put on like a Christmas movie, have all the lights out except for my Christmas tree, and I just lay there on the couch. And it's just so peaceful. It's just so nice. So anyway, do any of you guys do that? If you do, leave a comment below and let me know. Because I don't think it's a strange thing to do that. I think, I don't know. Christmas is a peaceful time. And it's a joyful time. And it is a time that when we have some downtime that we can just sit and relax. I think a lot of us, we like to just sit and look at our pretty Christmas lights. So anyway, I think that's going to do it for this vlog because I think it's going to be quite lengthy. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!